Hi, everyone, and welcome to Sentinel Sports Extra, Cleveland Guardians weekly report. No analytics here. We're going to review the week that was for the Cleveland Guardians. Let's start with the fact that on last week's show, I had two guests. I had Rachel L. Hill, First Lady of Cleveland Sports, and Tommy Shirer, my son. We made our predictions for the 7 games against the Twins and the Blue Jays. And Rachel and I were right. Rachel and I picked the Guardians to go 5-2. And Tommy, well, he was a little less optimistic. He picked them to go 4-3. And so they went 5-2, and it was a good week for the team. It started out bad. That Monday game where they lost 11-1 to the Twins, it just did. It was terrible. After getting beat badly the day before on Sunday by Boston, it was almost like, what is going on with this team? It's terrible. It looks really bad right now. But I was looking at the numbers last night, and they're 20-14. It just doesn't seem nearly as good as last year. You know what I mean? It seems like there's a lot of things, and you're like, wow, they're just not as good as last year. They're not close. Well, actually, they are close. They're 20-14 after 34 games. Last season, they were 22-12. So they're only 2 games worse than last year. It's crazy. It just doesn't seem like they're as good, but they're close. And I have to agree with Stephen Vogt. They are trending in a better direction. The starting pitching, they're still not where they need to be, but I think that they're getting better. He's had to use the bullpen a little less lately. He still loves using the bullpen, but he's had to use them less. But you got to give Kobe Allred credit the other night when Gavin Williams was not good. Allred came in and he pitched great. They ended up using 2 relievers in that game, which is unbelievable. It was trending like they'd use 5 or 6. So, but like I said, they're 20-14, which is really not too bad. I found another stat. There's a lot of people out there that are still mad about the name change. That's all they do. Those people complain. They'll complain about it forever. But so I looked up some stuff. The name Indians that they had for, well over 100 years, the team had a .513 winning percentage. Okay. Since they switched the name, this is now the 4th season, they have a .539 winning percentage, and they've made the playoffs 67% of the time. In over 100 years of having the name Indians, they made the playoffs 15 times. So it looks like the name is bringing success. So, of course, we know that the name has nothing to do with the team's success, but I just wanted to point that out. Just wanted to get that in there. But so, 3-1 against the Twins after getting blown out 11-1 in the first game. They outscored the Twins 10-6 in the next 3. Just doing what they do to the Twins, winning on a walk-off. It's just, Minnesota, that flight to Cleveland, when they play here, that flight has to be miserable, knowing how it's gone since 2022. The Guardians have walked them off 8 times in Cleveland. It's got to just be like, that's horrible. You know what I mean? It's horrible. This is the third year of the unbalanced schedule, or the current type of schedule. So that's 9, 15, 21, 24 games. And 1/3 of them have ended with the Guardians walking off the Twins. So that's pretty crazy. It's just got to be a nightmare for them to when they see that, oh, we got to go to Cleveland next. But you know what? They're in my mind, at least, watching them and watching their body language, they're a very arrogant organization. And I think it goes from Rocco Baldelli down. And does anybody else whine as much as Rocco Baldelli in Major League Baseball? Is there another man? Well, maybe Aaron Boone. He whines a lot too. But he just whines all the time. And he just comes off as, I'm the smartest guy in the room type of guy. And his days could be numbered, I think, in Minnesota. But 3-1 against them, and then they go to Toronto and they look bad the first game. They lose the first game. And then this Daniel Schneemann guy, who I've been hard on, I'll admit it, I've been hard on him. He shows up and hits 2 home runs on Saturday, accounting for all 5 runs, hitting a grand slam in the 9th to give them the lead and they win the game. And then yesterday, he plays well again, and they win that one. He's going to earn more playing time, and I can't sit here and say he doesn't deserve it, because he does deserve it. But here's the thing with Boat. If he's hot and he's going to get more playing time, when Jhonkensy Noel has a couple good games in a row, why does he not continue to get playing time? Or Kyle Manzardo, which was ridiculous, was hot. It was a week and a half ago. And what do? You give him a day off. That is just ridiculous. But I'm not going to sit here and complain about Vogt the whole time like I have in the past. I thought that, this past week was good. Very scary. Friday night, Jose going down after he ran out that legged out the hit early in the game, left the game, didn't even hesitate to leave the game. That was scary because he doesn't usually leave games that easily. But, he missed one game Saturday, and he was back in the lineup on Sunday, and he looked fine. He may not be fine, but, he's not missing much. He's not going to miss many games. But I really think that Schneemann is going to start taking more and more time away from Rocchio, and I can't be against this. Rocchio is very good defensively. He's probably better defensively than Schneemann, but his offense is just killing the team. It's just really not, it's just bad at this point. And so I think that having Schneemann in there is probably the better move at this point over Rocchio. Rocchio may never get that job back. I mean, if Schneemann just takes it, play second base. Gabriel Adias can play shortstop. So I think that that's what's going to happen here. I gotta say, I really have had enough of Nolan Jones. I questioned the trade when it happened. It made 0 sense to me. Zero sense. You didn't like the guy 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, then you bring him back. It doesn't make sense. Maybe Francona didn't like him. Maybe that was it. But still, You traded him, and now you're trading to get him back, and you're taking playing time away from John Kenzie Noel, a power hitter who has to have regular playing time. Power hitters need regular playing time. They cannot be pinch hitters. They cannot play once or twice a week. They need regular playing time. And John Kenzie Noel should be playing over Nolan Jones every day. I don't care if it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. Nolan Jones, he's not good, okay? He's not good. For our number one pick, he has not panned out. I'm sorry, he hasn't. And there was really no reason to get him back. But they did, and they're ought to admit their mistakes. So they'll probably stick with him a while, which it's beyond me. But the next series coming up is the Guardians go to Washington to play the Washington Nationals, the former Montreal Expos. The Nationals are 16-19. They're in third place. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They've got a lot of young talent. James Woods. They do. They have some young talent there in Washington, and I think that they're rebuilding this, and they're going to be good again. They really haven't been that good since they won the World Series in 2019. It's been pretty much a rebuild ever since then. But I think that they are on the right path, and they're getting they're going to be a good team. I'm looking at Jose Tena in 52 at bats, who the Guardians traded to them. He's had 52 at bats this year. He's hitting .231. He hasn't really done much. So he struck out 16 times in 52 at bats. But former Indian/Guardian Ahmed Rosario is playing for third base, mostly for the Nationals, and he has 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, hitting .254 and 63 at bats. James Woods, like I said, he's going to be really good. He's got 9 home runs, 21 RBI. He's hitting .273. Nathaniel Lowe, who they signed as a free agent, 6 home runs, 27 RBI, .254. Josh Bell, who is DHing for them. He's got 5 home runs, but he's only hitting .139. He's got 14 RBI. CJ Abrams is another guy they like. He's hitting .284. But their pitching staff is probably the issue, and hopefully the Guardians can get healthy off their pitching staff. They've got some pitching. Mackenzie Gore, he's pitched. He's 2-3, 3.33 ERA. Zach Wheeler, 3.48 ERA. He's 2-1. Garrett, I'm sorry, I screwed that up. I'm like, wait, those guys aren't on Washington. Okay, here they are. Mackenzie Gore, Jake Irvin, Trevor Williams. That's their starting pitching, and it's not really that good. So hopefully the Guardians can, score some runs this week in Washington. And let's see where the Nationals rank in scoring runs. I don't think it's very good. Looking at my fantasy teams, I feel like the Nationals are always one of the teams I want to pick up starting pitchers against. So let's see where that's at. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, I'm wrong about that. The Nationals are in the middle of the pack. They're 17th, or they're actually 14th. So in runs scored, let's see where they are at in runs allowed. I think that's where they might, where they may not be that great. Yeah, they are fifth in runs allowed. 179 in 35 games. So that's just about. It's less than 6, but it's probably about 5.5 per game. So the Guardians need to take advantage of that. They need to score some runs this week. They need to score some runs this week, and they need to pitch well. But then after Washington, they go to Philadelphia, who is 19-15. They're good. We don't have to go over the stats with them. We know the Phillies are good, but the Guardians did take 2 out of 3 from them last year in Philadelphia, which was nice. So they don't go to Philadelphia this year. They'll be home at Progressive Field against Philadelphia for those 3 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then they welcome the Milwaukee Brewers to town next week for 3 more, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So there's a 6-game homestand coming up, but got to go to Washington first, take care of business there, and then finish up in Cleveland Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Philadelphia Phillies of the National League East. The Guardians are 3-1 in May, obviously, against the National League East, who they will be playing with the Phillies and the Nationals. They have not played them yet, so this will be the first action they have against them. They're not 22-12 like last year, but they're 20-14, which isn't bad. It's better than the New York Yankees. So we will talk to you later next week. I'm going to give my prediction real quick before we end this. I am going to say I'm going to say 3-3 this week. I don't know why. I'm just going to say 3-3. So hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm going to say 3-3 this week. I could see 2-1 in Washington and 1-2 against the Phillies. But I'm going to say a 3-3 week for the Guardians this week. And then, we'll see what happens after that. They've got, if they go 3-3 this week, next week they have Milwaukee and Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So that's about it for this week. And we'll talk to you next week. And remember, the eye test is what's important. Analytics, they're useful, but the eye test is what really matters. Until next week, I'm Tim Shirer. Have a good week and go Guardians.